It seems only 2 weeks ago we were in El Salvador at La Fany, but this time we're going to have some natural. So 2 weeks ago we did El Salvador La Fany washed, and I don't really want to sit here and tell you the same things again for the La Fany natural. So I came up with this weird idea. Why not go back in time 10 years ago and go and see a incredibly old school in my mug, episode 44 from September 2009. Hello and welcome back. Right, so brewed the coffee, brewed it in the cafetiere, used 50 grams of coffee to 750 mils worth of water. Have brewed it for 4 minutes at 95 degrees C. The reason I know it's 95 degrees C is I have a new toy, which is this, and I'll just show you a picture of it now. It has a temperature sensor on it where you can actually set the temperature of the kettle to boil. It's the first time I'm using it, so I don't know how effective it is. I should really do some tests with a thermometer, but I will report back on that one because I think it could be a very exciting idea for the kitchen. I brewed it for 4 minutes, scooped off the top into my little bowl here, put the plunger in, just pushed it down. All I was waiting for was a little bit of expansion on that spring before I pushed down. Coffee we're going to be using today is called El Salvador Finca La Fany Bourbon. It's from the Santa Ana region. It's been in the same family since 1870. Owned by the Silvers, currently owned by Carmen and Rafael, and I also believe that there's some input from Luis as well, which is Rafael's brother. Although I've never met Luis, I've only ever met Carmen and Rafael. It's 100% Bourbon. It's one of the longest standing coffees that we've had on Has Been. Incredibly, I love this coffee, I love it dearly. I can remember the first time that I tried it, and it was one of those benchmark moments for me where I went, okay, that's good coffee. And I would hold it right up there with Cachoeira, Machicamarca, as probably one of my all-time favourite coffees. Not just because of the coffee, because it's great coffee, but also I really like the people behind it, and I have a real passion for El Salvador. I love some of the El Salvadorian coffees. I think they do one of the best jobs in the whole of the coffee world of producing great coffees. As you'll see from the influx of El Salvadors onto our site, I think currently we're up to about 6, maybe 7. There's some great coffees coming out of there. This is one of the kind of big ones for me. It's Bourbon. 70% of the coffee grown in El Salvador is Bourbon. You'll have heard me, if you've watched any of these in my mugs, rant on about how Bourbon for me is a great varietal. What happened in the kind of 70s, 80s, a lot of it was ripped out for much more higher yielding plants, but El Salvador was going through a period where they weren't looking after their plants because there was civil war. It was a war zone. So instead of ripping out plants, they were fighting, there was fighting and unrest and all the rest. Once all that trouble passed, Bourbon was kind of, all of a sudden people were, okay, there's something in this Bourbon, and they were in a great position to take advantage of that, and I think they have done very much. I'm going to show you a picture of the roast. Let me have a look at my bowl while you're looking at that picture. You'll see from this it's a very medium roast. Maybe the mediumish dark side, maybe it's moved a little that way, but it's still medium. No oils, you don't want oils on this coffee. Otherwise you kill a lot of that sweetness. And that's probably one of its big plus points. So time for snozzer in the bowl. Okay, well, the reason I love this coffee is it just does what it needs to do. I think the great example is you smell something like the Kenya Gethin-Buini, and I like Gethin-Buini, but you smell it and you kind of go, blackcurrants, you get that real rush. This, to me, smells balanced and controlled. You smell sweetness, you can really get it on there. You get a little bit of that caramel, but it just smells delicious. One of the things I love most about coffee is the aromatics. The aromas that come off coffee are phenomenal, and this is one of the most aromatic coffees, and it's just that kind of sweet, sticky loveliness. Is loveliness really a useful descriptor? I don't care, it's great. It's really good coffee. So, just going to pour this into here. If I open it up. So I'm using a thermal cafetiere. I can't say I'm a massive fan of them. You know, I've got one here because this is one of the oldest ones I've ever had, but I'm not a massive fan. I just want to drink my coffee fresh. I don't want to keep it warm. Maybe it's better because it doesn't, you know, because you do get a lot of temperature drop early on. Also warming it up, it's a lot easier because it keeps warm, so you're not adding hot water to something that's cold. The mug I'm using today, it's more of a tankard than a mug, but thank you to John Gordon for sending me this. John's a great friend of ours and a great supporter, and has sent us a few mugs in the past, and I've been meaning to use this one for a little while. So listen, John, thank you very much, and I hope all is well in your world. So let's smell the cup. Again, it's not showing off. This isn't a showing off coffee. This is a drink me every day. I'm damn gorgeous, drop dead lovely. It doesn't need to show off. It's just there. It's lovely. It's sweet. Get real creaminess as well on that aromatic. Big creaminess. And that's what that does. It does a good job of keeping it warm. Ooh, hot. It's big. It's got a great body. It's got great structure. It's like an old familiar pair of slippers. Every time I drink this coffee, I look at it, and you know, on a Friday night, I'll be thinking, right, take something home for the weekend, and I'll work along, and I'll take one of the showy ones because I think, oh yeah, I've had that lots. But then when I do come back to it, you know, they look like old slippers, but they're great, they're comfortable, they do everything that they need to do. And La Fany is a pair of comfortable slippers. It's a great performing coffee. This has been used in Cup of Excellence. This has been in the Cup of Excellence in the past. It's been used in WBC competition blends. It has a great pedigree, and I almost forget how good it is because it's been around for so long. And I'm sure lots of you watching this will have forgotten how good La Fany is. Hopefully, if you're a subscriber, you're trying it as I try it and go, wow, it is stunning, it is really good. It's got a big body, it's very long, incredibly smooth. I mean, big time smoothness. It's sweet, and I mean really sweet. Anybody who says they love sugar in their coffee, give them this one because they'll be blown away at how sweet this is. Caramel, lots and lots of caramel. It's a stonker. It's a real stonker coffee, and I insist that you try it because I've forgotten how good it is, and I'm sure you have. So listen, we're going to pop a voucher code up below there. That voucher code is going to give you £1 off in the store for a couple of weeks. We don't need to push this coffee. I think we get around about 50, 60 bags of this a year. So we sell a lot of this coffee. But I want you to try it because you will forget how good it is. And what this also is great as an espresso, and it's also great as an espresso component. You know, we use it a lot in espresso blends because it gives you that balance, that smoothness, that control. To put something showy off with it, just sits on top of it perfectly. I love this coffee. You really must take some. You must try it. Right. Listen, thanks very much for watching. I am not going to say the catchphrase because I'm still banned from saying it. Although some did say I should drop it in every now and again. But just remember,
with summer coming towards the end, Roland likes to get all the vitamin D he can, so I found him outside today. Come with me, Wobblecam, while we ask him for a daft fact for this week. Roland, what's your fact?
Did you know that Honduras is the only Central American country without a Caribbean coast?
You have got some sun cream on, haven't you?
Uh-oh.
Welcome back. So, did you enjoy that little trip down memory lane? That was Fat Steve. Actually, Fat Steve's on his way back, to be fair. But that was the one of the first few that were in the old cupping lab. Yes, the good old times with little flying aeroplanes across the map. And anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Into the cupboard we go. Where the hand stops, nobody knows. I'm breaking things. Oh, I can't drink out of a spittoon. That wouldn't be very good. Let's go with this one. So this was sent to me by Force India, who used to, and I don't know whether they have for a while, but they used to buy our coffee all of the time and we'd send it all over the world. I guess when you're doing all-nighters and you're living in that very pressurised world, having coffee is something to have a nice break from the mayhem. So we like Force India. Thank you, Force India, for my mug. So let's get into it. And straight off, this has like a really kind of quite high acidity, and for a natural, it doesn't have that funky smell. So let's get into the cup. And this is such a clean natural. Like the real, this is what I was talking about a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about the washed coffee, that this is the processing of Raphael and the dedication he puts into it. It is so clean. It has like a green apple tinge to it, but kind of going into a little bit of like a cider edge, a little bit of a brown sugar sweetness to it. It's delicious. So the Instagram for this week is from Two Sons Coffee. Two Sons Coffee, based in Brunei. You'll see it on your screen now. Super impressed with all the has-been bags there. If you want to be part of this, you need to use the hashtag hasbeen or in my mug on your Twitter photos, and we'll pick out the ones that we get, and hopefully you will feature on here soon. Thank you for joining me. I love this coffee. I hope you love it too, but I love you for watching more. But do remember, life is too short for bad coffee. And Rollin G-L-E-W, because we've had to start going to full names for Rollins. He was asking about grinders and about grinding fine enough for Turkish grinders, and as you know, I'm quite a fan of the Turkish style of brick brewing, and basically a good espresso grinder, Rollin, will get you that grind fine enough, and it really is just about getting a very, very fine grind on there, as fine as you possibly can get. But a good espresso grinder really should get you there, so don't kind of stress too much about that.